This is the Samsung Galaxy A52 5G, and this phone really makes you think about value and about what it is to actually purchase a mid-range phone in 2021. Hey, what's going on, guys and girls? My name is Prashil and welcome back to ATE, the home of everything art and tech related. And today, well, you've already probably guessed it, but today we're going to be reviewing the A52 5G. And this phone really makes you think. Not only what it is to buy a mid-range phone in 2021, but also what you get for your money. You see, with technological advancements occurring at such an exponential rate, the bleeding-edge technology in flagships today will quickly become the talk of the past tomorrow. An example of this would be the 120Hz display on the Razer Phone 1 a couple years ago, known to many as a luxury at the time, which is now available on the mid-range A52. Alright, so enough of me waffling on about this. I'll get into it later in the review, but for now, let's actually get into the review of the A52. Alright, so the design of the A52 is nothing special. Samsung didn't really take any risks here. They played it quite safe, and you know what? It works. It's well built and feels solid in the hand. The back is plastic, but for the price you pay, it's decent. Now the Galaxy A52 5G does have a back plastic panel, but you know what? It doesn't feel too cheap thanks to the semi-matte texture on the back, which by the way, not only looks good, but also helps keep fingerprints at bay. This phone also has an IP67 water and dust resistance, so it's able to be submerged for about half an hour under about a meter of water, and it also doesn't let any dust in. And an interesting feature on this phone is that it still retains the headphone jack, which is honestly an underrated feature at this point. Alright, so the specs are as follows. You get a Snapdragon 750G paired with 8 gigs of RAM and a generous 4500 mAh battery, and an Adreno 619 GPU. On the back, you get a quad camera setup with a 64 megapixel main shooter with f1.8 aperture, also acting as a wide lens and has optical image stabilization. Another 12 megapixel sensor with a 2.2 aperture acting as an ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel f2.4 macro and depth lens. Yeah, so the camera system is pretty full on and actually sounds quite good on paper, but let's just see how that actually translates to real world performance. Speaking of performance, day-to-day use is pleasant as the abundance of RAM coupled with a good processor makes light work of browsing and watching videos. Gaming is also not much of an issue as most games work well thanks to the OK GPU. So all in all, performance was really good on this device. My only real concern here is how future-proof it will be. As software gets updated and newer games and applications come out, the actual requirements for those games and new updated software will also increase. So I guess only time will tell. But as of now, it's pretty decent. Alright, let's jump into the screen. I feel that the screen is a highlighting feature of this phone. You get a beautiful 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. Now this definitely elevates the whole experience as it makes the phone feel very fluid and buttery smooth to use. Yeah, so Samsung pretty much nailed it on the screen. I mean, it has great viewing angles and it gets plenty bright. Alright, so the camera system sounds pretty intense on the A52 5G. Well, at least on paper. Now photos are decent, and knowing how to make use of all that kit available to you will allow you to take some real nice photos. The array of different sensors and lenses makes this a very versatile phone overall when it comes to the camera system. However, regardless of all that kit that's available to you, I feel that this phone still lacks in overall image quality. And so in my opinion, the Pixel 4a 5G remains at the top when it comes to the best smartphone cameras under $500. Now looking at innovation, Samsung has played it pretty safe with this device. I will say, however, that I do like the color variants available to you, and this awesome blue color is in fact quite awesome. And I especially like the semi-matte texture which keeps fingerprints at bay, as well as the fact that a headphone jack is still present on this device, which is honestly a lifesaver for many who just don't want to switch or transition over to Bluetooth headphones. The 120Hz display is also a nice welcomed addition, and honestly, in my opinion, it makes the phone feel snappier than it really is, which is always a plus. So all in all, this device is actually not a bad choice for someone who's looking for a mid-range camera and screen heavy phone that has a decent sized battery that can get you through the day. Now, to sum up what I stated earlier in the video, if you are a patient type of person and an observant person at that, you will notice that the high-end features of flagships today will definitely be present on the mid-range phones of tomorrow. And so if you really are the patient type and you don't care about the high-end features of flagship devices today, and you update your phone, let's say every 2 years, and you always go for the mid-range phones, you can actually really benefit from the rate at which technology is evolving at, because you're able to get those flagship features, granted a little bit later, but at a really decent price. So yeah, what type of smartphone consumer you are is really something to think about. Well, that's enough of my rant. This is me signing off. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.